All right, so looking at our last concept here, formula for minimum sample size needed for interval estimate of a population proportion. So a lot of this is actually gonna look familiar, right? We have N, we have P hat next to Q hat, we have our Z alpha 2, and we have our error, and then just squared. So all we did is we solved for our error formula previously. Right, so we want to round up to obtain a whole number if necessary, right? We can't have 0.32 of a person. And then a couple other things. If we know the p-value, we're gonna use it. If not, we're gonna use 0.5, right? And then another key thing, E is written as a decimal, not as a percentage. And that's true of a lot of things. Our percentages have to be converted to decimals in order to work with them in a mathematical formula. So let's look at 4. So a researcher wishes to estimate with 95% confidence the proportion of people who own a home computer. Previous study shows that 40% of those interviewed had a computer at home. Researcher wishes to be accurate within 2% of the true proportion. Find the minimum sample size necessary. And so we are given this information within 2%. That's our margin of error. Remember we talked about the polling within 3 plus or minus 3. Well, that's our 2%. And then it's converted to a decimal there. So let's put down our information that we know. So P hat is going to be X over N, but in this case they give it to us right here. So 0.4 for our P hat, which means Q hat is 1 minus P hat, or 1 minus 0.4, which gives us 0.6. And then we want to solve for N. So we get N equals P hat times Q hat Z alpha over 2 over E all squared. So substitute our values in. All right, so P hat is 0.4, Q hat is 0.6. We know our E is 0.02, and then we need to find so then we're going to go to Staplet to find that. And so we're 1.96 for our value there, which we can then substitute in. And once we simplify that, our N becomes 2,304.96. And again, we're talking about the number of people who own a home computer, so we can't have 0.96 people. So then we round that to our minimum sample size of 2,305 individuals. All right, so with that, go ahead and try number 5 there. And as always, I'll have the work here for you in a minute. So N's unknown, our P hat is also known, so we're gonna use a P hat of 0.5, which then makes Q hat pretty easy for us as well, because that's gonna be 0.5. They give us the error E as 3%, so 0.03. And then for our Z alpha 2, take its 99% to confidence interval, and you get 2.576. Substitute that all in, and with the rounding, we get 1843.